Today we are going to talk about energy. The energy is life, movement, and that something changes when time passes. We are going to explain the types of energy and the source from they come. We will say the pros and cons that have to be used.
Well, we're going to talk about the two types of energy. We have non-renewable energy or resources and renewable resources. First, the non-renewable resources are the ones that you use them and in a certain time or quantity you cannot use them again because you depleted the existence or the quantity of each type of this resource. Then we have the renewable energy. Those are the ones that if you use them like the water, it produces again, it generates constantly and there's no a limit or exact quantity to use them. You can use them whenever you want, but taking care that the quantity that you use, it doesn't exceed the quantity that it is produced. I think that's all. We have, for example, non-renewable energy are fossil fuels and nuclear energy, and renewable energy is hydraulic power, wind energy and solar energy. Also we have the biofuels that also are in the theme of renewable energy. That's all.
Geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is a renewable energy obtained by the internal heat of Earth. The terms come from the Greek geo, is meaning earth, and thermos is meaning earth. Then literally it means earth. This energy is a renewable resource that is used to produce other types of energy, such as electric energy. Geothermal energy works this way. Under the Earth's crust is found a layer of molten rock called magma. Your temperature is very intense and the earth stays there. If you dig in the ground a few meters from the surface, begin to register higher temperatures. If we dig about 3 meters, the temperature will increase about 10 or 15 degrees Celsius more. The magma can only escape by the volcano eruption, but despite this possibility, the magma remains under the earth, where heated rocks and water to the surface, and water is trapped within them. So when the water escapes to the surface, forms a geyser. This energy can be used by geothermal springs, at pumps, and geothermal power plants. The pros and cons of this energy is a clean energy. It is a natural resource. It doesn't pollute. It is cheaper. And the cons is the ecosystems are destroyed to boil the plants where energy obtained, and this energy can become non-renewable.
What is solar energy? Solar energy is a renewable energy obtained from the use of electromagnetic radiation from the sun. Currently, heat and sunlight can be exploited by various collectors and photovoltaic cells, heliostats or thermal collectors. It can be transformed into electrical or thermal energy. It is also called renewable energy or clean energy, which could help solve one of the most pressing problems affecting humanity. The various solar technologies can be classified as passive or active technologies depending on how they capture, convert and distribute the solar energy. Active technologies include the use of photovoltaic panels and thermal collectors to collect the solar energy. The source of most developed solar energy today is photovoltaic solar energy. According to reports by Greenpeace, solar photovoltaics could supply electricity to 2/3 of the world population in 2030. Now, how it works? Photovoltaic solar energy consists in obtaining electricity obtained directly from the solar radiation by a semiconductor called photovoltaic cell. Photovoltaic solar energy produces electricity by the spectrum of visible light by the use of photovoltaic cells. When sunlight impacts the cell, electrons occurs movement, then channeling electric current is obtained. The pros: solar power is virtually unlimited renewable source. Solar energy does not pollute when it's used, and solar energy operates with quieter system than other types of energy. Cons: the initial cost of installing a solar power system can be higher than another energy system. In some places, the sunlight does not have the intensity or is not consistent enough to provide a constant flow of energy. And large projects solar energy generation can be require large amounts of land.
What is nuclear energy? Is the energy that is liberated when we divide the nucleus from an atom, or when we put together two atoms to transform in one.
Advantage: less carbon dioxide emission to the atmosphere. It prevents the climate change. Efficient relation between fuel and obtained energy. This energy lasts forever. Advantage: less carbon dioxide emission to the atmosphere. It prevents the climate change. Efficient relation between fuel and obtained energy. This energy lasts forever. And again, this generated nuclear winds. Nuclear plants last years 40 years.
What is wind energy? Wind energy is the energy from wind. It is one of the oldest energy resources exploited by humans and is today the most mature and efficient energy from all renewable energy. The term wind comes from the Latin aeolicus, belonging or relative to aeolus, god of the wind in Greek mythology. How does it work? This is thanks to the wind turbines, large mills of between 40 and 50 meters and propellers of up to 23 meters in diameter. The wind makes the propeller wind turbine. Thanks to the rotor of a generator converts this force into electrical energy to move. In the back, a wind turbine orients to know where the wind comes. These large machines are grouped into called wind farms. Wind turbines today can work they have to receive a wind of at least 15 kilometers per hour. Wind turbines are usually located on land, but in the north there are also wind turbines at sea. The latter are called offshore wind turbines. Advantage: renewable energy, inexhaustible and non-polluting. Reduce the use of fossil fuels. Disadvantage: it is discontinuous, its intensity and direction suddenly change. It depends on traditional source for operation. Backup power plants increase energy consumption, and it is not storable.
I'm going to talk about hydropower. What's hydropower? Hydropower is electricity generated using the energy of moving water. A classic power plant is a system that consists of three parts. A power plant where electricity is produced, a dam that can be opened and closed to control flow of water, and a reservoir that can store water. The water behind the dam flows through inlet and presses against the turbine blades, causing them to move. The turbine spins is a generator to produce electricity. The amount of electricity that can be generated depends on how far the water comes and the amount of it that moves through the system. Electricity can be transported by electrical long cables to homes, factories and businesses. There are some advantages and disadvantages. The advantage of hydroelectricity power plants: they don't require fuel but use renewable form of energy. It's clean. It can often be combined with other benefits such as irrigation, flood protection, water supply, roads, etc. And the prices of maintenance are low. Engineering work necessary to harness hydro have a good time. The hydraulic turbine is simple, efficient and safe, which can be started and stopped quickly and requires light supervision. And the disadvantage of hydroelectric power plants: the capital cost of hydroelectric power plants are high. The site, which is an increase of investment and maintenance price and loss of energy. The construction takes a long time, and the availability of energy can fluctuate from season to season and year to year.
Well, I'm going to talk about biofuels. Biofuels is a fuel that comes from the environment that is around us, like food, wood, and vegetable oil. We have 4 types of biofuels. The first one is biodiesel, that it comes from animal fat and vegetable oil. Germany produces the 63% of all of this type of energy. Then we have bioethanol, that comes from alcohol from corn and sugarcane. Brazil produces the 45% of all of this type of energy. Then we have biogas, that it comes from the decomposition of organic rests. And last but not least, we have biomass, that comes from wood and dry excrement from the environment and the planet. We have 3 types of process: the fermentation, decomposition, and anaerobic digestion. Some advantages of biofuels are that we can use it forever. We can obtain the resources cheap or free. It does not contaminate the planet, and it does not emit harmful gases or rests. It's easy to use, and some disadvantages are that the process of this decomposition is slow because it is a biological process. The machine or the system that decomposes the food or the organic rests is very expensive and we need a huge space to store it. And last, we need a huge amount of resources because if we have more, we only produce like the 50% or 30% of all this quantity of resource. Last thing we're going to talk about is about the energy of the future. The energy of the future is an energetic model that is primarily based in the use of fossil fuels and electric energy. If this continues, the quantity of fossil fuels will deplete, or we will have a small amount of fossil fuels, and we will need to think about new ways to generate electricity or energy in general. The reserves of oil and natural gas will be less before we end the 21st century, and the human will be forced to stop using fossil fuels and to create or use more helpful and less harmful ways to generate electricity, such as electric energy, solar energy, and wind energy. I think that in the future we will need to use more solar energy, and a new element, for example, the hydrogen, that has 0% of harmful emissions. It's very clean. We'll have to improve the use of nuclear energy because this type of energy is almost, you can use it everywhere, and is very, it don't end. And also we have to use biofuels such as food, excrement, and rest of animals that will decompose and generate methanol, that is a natural gas. And we will have to use new elements such as nitrogen. And last, I think that we will keep using these types of energy, but in a more conscient way, because we need to take care of the planet, and if we don't stop this, our planet will be bad and contaminated, and we will need to think about new ways to take care of it. That's all. Thank you.